Gold glitters on the surface, but behind velvet curtains, secrets boil like steam engines ready to explode. The trailer for the Gilded Age Season 3, Episode 5, just dropped and it's full of hints that someone's world is about to collapse. From secret letters and whispered betrayals to dangerous alliances in drawing rooms, this episode is set to twist everything we thought we knew. Asterisk first, for episodes of Season 3 have been building like a slow burn candle, quiet, flickering, but dangerous. We've seen old tensions resurface, new characters shake things up, and quiet whispers turn into loud warnings. Asterisk Bertha Russell has once again made her mark on New York society. Despite the gates of old money trying to keep her out, she's forced them to take notice through grandeur, charm, and fierce determination. In Episode 2, we saw her clash with Mrs. Astor's Circle again. But this time, Bertha isn't just pushing for approval, she's coming for control. She hosted a daring opera fundraiser that broke tradition, made headlines, and gave her more power than ever. Bertha is no longer just climbing the ladder, she's starting to reshape it. Asterisk meanwhile, George Russell's storyline has been a strong, serious thread across the season. His business dealings with the railroads have grown more intense. Labor unrest is brewing. In Episode 3, we saw union leaders confront him face-to-face, warning him about unsafe conditions and unfair pay. George remains cool and in control, but that calm is starting to crack. With strikes hinted at in Episode 4, there's a storm brewing on the tracks. Asterisk on the Van Rhijn side of town, Marian continues to stir up her own quiet rebellion. She's still under the watchful, stern eye of her Aunt Agnes, who believes in class, control, and careful living, but Marian isn't following the rules. In Episode 1, she secretly visits schools to apply for teaching jobs. By Episode 4, she's seen having tea with someone who's clearly not considered proper company. There's also tension between her and Dashiell Montgomery, whose intentions seem unclear. Is he a suitor or a social climber? Asterisk Agnes Van Rhijn remains the same pillar of tradition, power, and opinion that she's always been, but even her confidence is being tested. In Episode 2, she received a letter from an old acquaintance with troubling news. Her concern about the future of her family is growing, especially as Oscar seems less interested in marriage than she hoped. Oscar is juggling secrets of his own. Episode 3 hinted at a potential scandal involving his nightlife, and if that comes to light, it could destroy everything Agnes has worked to protect. Asterisk across town, Peggy Scott's journey has become even more meaningful this season. Her journalistic voice is growing stronger. She covered a major protest in Episode 4, risking both her job and reputation to speak the truth. Her relationship with her mother is tense, her place in society is shifting, and her mission to fight injustice is growing louder. She may soon face a choice: keep her career safe or take a stand that could cost her everything. Asterisk finally, we can't forget the subtle shifts happening with the supporting cast. Larry Russell is developing a mind of his own, possibly clashing with his father over business decisions. Mrs. Chamberlain is back in the mix, offering advice laced with danger. And behind closed doors, servants are picking up on things their employers miss, setting the stage for hidden truths to come forward. Asterisk so far, this season has given us grand parties, quiet betrayals, and power moves dressed in pearls and lace. But Episode 5 looks ready to change the game and maybe even burn the rules to the ground. Asterisk the trailer for Episode 5 opens with a slow-motion shot of a ballroom filled with golden candlelight and eyes filled with suspicion. We see Bertha Russell entering the room in a bold red gown far from the pastels and whites worn by the other women. It's a clear message. She's not here to blend in, she's here to dominate. Her eyes scan the room, and the camera cuts to Mrs. Winterton exchanging a sharp glance with Mrs. Astor. Tension is thick, but silent. Something unspoken is happening, and Bertha is in the middle of it. Asterisk then we hear the first major line of the trailer. It's not just about invitations anymore. It's about survival. The voice belongs to Mr. McNeil, one of George Russell's railway rivals. As he speaks, the scene shifts to George in his study, reading a telegram with clenched jaws. There's trouble in the business world, possibly a strike or a financial sabotage. Behind him, Larry stands quietly, watching his father's reaction. The shot lingers on Larry a bit longer than usual, which may suggest a deeper role for him. In whatever is coming next, asterisk cut to Marian walking through a foggy park with someone who seems unexpected. It's Mr. Raikes. Yes, him. After disappearing from her life at the end of season 1, he's suddenly back, and Marian looks completely torn. There's no dialogue in this moment, just music swelling in the background and a soft glance from Raikes that feels both sincere and suspicious. Why is he back now? Is he reformed? Or is he hiding something? The trailer wants us to wonder, asterisk, then the tone shifts. A series of quick cuts show chaos, workers yelling outside a factory, a shattered glass falling at a dinner table, and Agnes raising her voice something rare and chilling. She says, "We protect the family, no matter the cost," her voice breaks slightly at the end, hinting at fear. This isn't just about family pride anymore. It might be about legal trouble, scandal, or even betrayal within their own walls. Asterisk Peggy Scott appears next, standing in a print shop as papers fly from the press. She looks determined. Another voice says, "If they won't speak the truth, we will." It could be Peggy's editor or a fellow activist, but either way, she's stepping into dangerous territory. The trailer briefly shows a group of angry men shouting outside a courthouse. Whether Peggy is reporting the story or involved in it, her role is clearly expanding, and so is the risk. Asterisk now, a surprising twist, a dimly lit room where Bertha and Ward McAllister are seen having a private, heated conversation. He tells her, "You're playing a game with no rules, Mrs. Russell." She replies, "Then I'll make my own." Their once charming friendship is clearly over, and the tone is icy. This could mark the moment Bertha breaks away from the old guard for good and possibly takes them down in the process. Asterisk finally, the trailer ends on a powerful visual. A letter, sealed in red wax, is slipped under a door. The screen goes black, and we hear a voice whisper, "Everything changes tonight." We don't know who sent the letter or who it's meant for, but it's clear that this message will trigger the major conflict of the episode. Asterisk this trailer doesn't scream with drama, it hums with danger. Every glance, every word, every silence feels like a warning. And if the past episodes are any hint, episode 5 might just be the moment the show goes from slow burn to explosion. Asterisk the trailer gave us more questions than answers, but those clues are more than enough to build some bold predictions for episode 5. Let's dive into what might be waiting behind the velvet curtains. Asterisk first, let's talk about Bertha Russell. Her line, "Then I'll make my own," isn't just sass, it's a threat. Bertha is tired of playing second to Mrs. Astor's rules and traditions. After being denied and pushed aside time and time again, episode 5 could be the moment she launches her own social league, possibly even starting her own version of the 400. If that happens, she wouldn't just be challenging society, she'd be tearing it apart. Her private meeting with Ward McAllister seems like the final straw, and we may witness a full break between the Russell family and the old guard of New York's elite. Asterisk, but here's the real theory. Bertha might be planning a power move in Europe. That scene showing her receiving foreign guests in her home wasn't just window dressing. It could signal a plan to shift her influence beyond New York. Think about it, what better way to shake the city snobs than to gain recognition in London or Paris? It's something Alva Vanderbilt, Bertha's historical inspiration, actually did. And if Bertha pulls that off, she could return stronger than ever with new allies and more titles than her rivals ever dreamed of. Asterisk next, let's turn to Marian and Raikes. His return is suspicious, no doubt about it. Last time we saw him, he broke her heart and chose wealth over love. So why is he back now? One theory is that Raikes has lost everything. Maybe he gambled away his fortune or fell out of favor with the elite. Now he's returning to Marian not out of love, but out of desperation. Another theory, he's working for someone. Could he have been sent by someone like Mrs. Fane or even Dashiell Montgomery to spy on Marian or lure her into a scandal? And speaking of Marian, the look on her face when she sees Raikes isn't just surprise, it's conflict. She might still have feelings for him, and that opens up another possibility, an elopement. She's proven this season that she wants to live life on her own terms, even if it goes against everything her aunt believes. Could episode 5 end with Marian making a life-altering choice? Now let's talk about George Russell and the looming strike. We've seen tension building for weeks, and episode 5 could finally bring it to a boil. Workers are angry, unions are organizing, and George's empire is on the edge of a full-blown labor war. If the strike hits, it won't just hurt his business, it could ruin the Russells' reputation. There's also a growing distance between George and Larry. The trailer gave us a moment where Larry looks on in silence as George reacts to bad news. Could Larry be siding with the workers? Or worse, could he be leaking information? And police. George represents the rising industrial baron, and episode 5 could show what happens when that power is finally challenged. In the trailer, we see factory unrest and hear lines that suggest fear from the upper class. This speaks to the real anxiety that elites felt as their wealth came under threat. The Gilded Age was full of shiny surfaces, but underneath was deep economic inequality. When a crowd in the trailer yells outside a courthouse, it's not just dramatic flair, it echoes real moments when working-class people force the nation to listen, sometimes for the first time. Then there's Peggy Scott, whose storyline may connect to the rise of Black journalism and women's activism in the late 19th century. Her role at the newspaper and her pursuit of truth remind us of real figures like Ida B. Wells, who used the press to challenge injustice, fight racism, and speak out for civil rights, often at great personal risk. Peggy's arc could be a tribute to this kind of brave truth-telling, and her decision to report on social unrest or corruption even if it targets people like George Russell puts her in a long, proud line of journalists who changed history with the written word. Now, let's talk about that sealed red wax letter. In the 19th century, wax seals weren't just decorative. They were used to signify importance, privacy, and often danger. Red, in particular, symbolized urgency or even legal weight, such as a summons or secret document. That letter could hold legal power, a confession, or the key to blackmail. Its appearance in the trailer signals that something hidden is about to become very public. That was a common theme in the real Gilded Age too, when secrets like affairs, debts, or scandals could destroy entire families if they became gossip. Finally, let's not overlook the symbolism of space and lighting in the trailer. Grand rooms lit by candlelight often show how these characters live in luxury, but also darkness. They have everything, yet they hide so much. Marian and Raikes in the park. Fog surrounds them, a classic visual sign of unclear motives and uncertain futures. George's study is bathed in deep shadows as he reads bad news, and Bertha's ballroom is brightly lit but filled with people whose smiles hide knives. All of this echoes the heart of the real Gilded Age, a time when everything looked perfect, but underneath, the country was cracking. Just like in the show, the people with power are desperately trying to hold on, while new voices rise up to challenge them. Though, when you watch episode 5, don't just look at the clothes or the drama, watch the history breathing under the surface. The betrayals, the shifts, the bold moves, they all echo a time when the world was changing forever. And the best part? The show is only just warming up. All signs point to episode 5 being the moment where the Gilded Age season 3 crosses a line it can't uncross. Every storyline is balancing on a knife's edge. From Bertha's bold rebellion to George's growing crisis, Marian's emotional crossroads to Peggy's fight for justice, something is going to snap. And here's the brilliance of it. We don't know exactly where the blow will land. Will Bertha finally destroy the wall between old and new money, or will society find a way to punish her for rising too quickly? Her alliances are shifting, and her enemies are growing more desperate. The trailer has already shown her stepping into dangerous territory, not just socially, but politically. If she makes one wrong move, everything she built could crumble. George Russell, too, is heading for war. The looming strike isn't just about business, it's about legacy. His empire is at risk, and worse, he may no longer be able to rely on his son. Larry's quiet tension could mean a betrayal is coming. It wouldn't be the first time an heir turned on the father who built the empire. The real question is, will George hold on to his power, or will the industrial world that made him rich be the same one that turns on him? Then there's Marian. Her story, often quiet, might become the loudest of all. The return of Raikes suggests the past isn't finished with her, and if she makes a bold move like leaving with him or defying her aunt's rules, it could change the Rhijn legacy forever. But there's still that lingering uncertainty. Is she running towards something real, or falling into another trap? Peggy Scott's journey, meanwhile, feels like it's about to take center stage. She's no longer just a witness to history, she's becoming a force within it. Her journalism, her principles, her presence in both the black and white worlds of New York. Peggy is the future knocking on the door of the past. But if she publishes the wrong truth at the wrong time, it could put her in direct conflict with the city's most powerful players. And in a city like this, telling the truth can be dangerous. Oscar Van Rhijn and Anez's storyline is the quiet powder keg ready to blow if someone lights a match. The trailer's hints about secrets and that mysterious red wax letter suggest that something very personal and very private is about to go public. Whether it's about Oscar's secret life or Anez's past, the fallout could hit the Van Rhijn family where it hurts most, their reputation. And we can't forget the bigger picture. Behind the scenes of every dinner, every opera, every whispered conversation, change is coming. The Gilded Age, both in history and in this show, is about the tipping point, when old rules collapse, new powers rise, and society either bends or breaks. So what can we expect in episode 5? Expect confrontation, expect scandal, expect at least one shocking twist that changes a character's future forever. And expect this. The second half of season 3 is going to be even more explosive than the first. If this episode delivers on the promises made in the trailer, we're about to watch the glittering world of the Gilded Age crack open and show us what really lies beneath the gold. Because in this era, wealth is just the wrapping. What really matters is power. And in episode 5, we'll see who truly holds it and who's about to lose it all.